Brian, the year that was Cork, it felt like this was a year of really kicking on. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of positives there. I still think there's a few areas to be worked on, and I think hopefully we get that done during the winter. But I think it's very important to build on the positives we did this year. Obviously, look, the first thing we have to look at is Division 3, and it's not about getting out of it straight away. I think it's the first game. I think it's awfully so. Just focusing on that, get the bodies right, get the fitness right, how we want to play, etc. And I think that's where, instead of looking at the big picture, it's the small things we need to nail home first.
I always get the sense talking to you that the idea of doing well in a Munster final, that based on speaking to you, that not winning it is more the thing that sticks with you rather than, well, look, we actually pushed Kerry this time.
No, I don't believe in it, to be honest with you. I think you can only remember the ones you win, and stuff. But I'll be honest with you, I think we did leave it behind us, I won't lie. But look, it's in the past. There's no point of look, we learn from it. We take it next year. Before we do go to Munster finals or anything, we've a few massive league, as I said, and Kerry up first. So look, it's set up lovely. I love playing against Kerry. But look, there's no point of love playing against them or playing well. I think you have to get over the line and be successful, and that's why every encounter togs out and push himself week in, week out.
Has mentality changed now that you competed very well for 65 minutes against Dublin also? And I mean, I'm sure on the field you felt like we have a chance of winning this thing. Or is that how it felt, or is there a bit like, geez, Dublin, it's 65 minutes into the game and they're still as strong as they were at the start of the game? How does it actually feel?
Yeah, look, it's different from like what people think. If you don't believe you can win a game, I don't believe you should even put on a jersey. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just the way I was kind of brought up. I think there's no point in just playing a game for the sake of it or having a crack off it. You go out to win, and we firmly believe we could beat Dublin. Now they are a fantastic team. Let's not hide about it. But I think we gave it our all. We literally went toe to toe with them, but their quality showed in the end, and their expertise, I think they beat us by 10 or 12 points in the end. But look, we gave it what we could for as long as we could, and I think you said 65 minutes. Maybe we have to go for 75 minutes next year, and that's the aim. Why we come back train this year. This way we'll push each other to make ourselves better and learn from last year.
Do you think there are certain people on the panel now that because you've pushed the two teams that got to the final so hard, that their belief has changed? Maybe if yours was always theirs, that maybe theirs has changed.
Yeah, look, we have a very young team. I don't think a lot of them have played in Croke Park, even never mind play against 5 in a row, All-Ireland champions. That's a big experience for them, and hopefully that'll bring them up another notch next year. I think our team is maturing, and we're learning as we go along. Looking back at last year, like the Kerry game was an awful kicker for us, and so was Tyrone, and you said, what if, but instead of just talking about it, we got to put it into practice and get over the line. I think that's the big thing for us is, stop talking about it and maybe just doing a bit of action and really getting over the line.
Because the way I would say it, I'd be like, if you get Sean Powter, for example, fit for a full season, he looks like a ball of dynamite waiting to happen. And then, Ciaran Sheehan's back from Australia. Can he get back to his old form? Because he was, even when Cork weren't going that well in the year or two before he went away, I still thought he was playing really well.
Yeah, it's exciting. I won't lie to you. When I first came in the panel in 12, it was Ciaran as I looked up then. He was very good at breaking me into the older players, stuff like that. And when he was leaving, I was just getting to build a little bit of partnership with him inside. And he's a massive player. He's physically, he can catch, he can kick off both feet. He's a powerful man. It's a massive positive for us. Especially get such an experienced player that has played at a professional level to bring it into a young setup. So I'm excited in that half just to see what he's about. And look, he's been through a good few of injuries since he was been in Oz, but I know Ciaran, I know his character, and I know what he can bring to us, so it's very positive. And Pout's as you said, he's like a cannonball ready to go. He's he doesn't drink. He's obsessed about football. He just lives for it, and I think he needs a break. And I think he's right on track now, and hopefully, he can get a good run out in the league and build him for a championship. because I think them two players could be key for what we have and hopefully drive us on to the next level.
Have you seen Ciaran Sheehan in action with OurGame?
I have.
Yeah. How's he looking?
Not bad, no, not bad. I think I got to watch my own place first, to be honest with you. No, look, he's been out of the game for I think 5 years, whatever. GA, obviously he's got his ball skills, his natural physicality. He's trimmed down a bit, but I look, as I said, I know what Ciaran's about. Like, he's been through the injuries, but I know when he puts in the hard graft and stuff, he will come out on top, and I can guarantee you he'll have a big factor in to play with Cork and where we end up this year.
And then about yourself, like Castlehaven this year, where did it go wrong field?
Yeah, look, I suppose we had hammer and tongs with Carby Rangers, who'd be next door neighbours, you know. Bit of a rivalry. The West Cork rivalries are always close, like, you know, and fair play to them, they came out on top. We went to extra time, probably could have won it, you know. We went down 7 points at half time, came back at 7 points in a row to draw a level, and you know, just couldn't kick on, unfortunately. But yeah, look, it's a tough one, you know. After, as I would say, people think it's a positive year at Cork, I'd always be frustrated. I always want more. I always like winning. And you go back to the club, try to do more, and you're gone after 2 games. It's fairly frustrating, like, you know. So yeah, look, we've a new management in place this year. John Cleary and James Mack and Bernie Collins, a few big names in there. So hopefully they can push us. And look, without making excuses, it's a bit tough when you know you have 4 or 5 fellas involved in county teams, and the lads are pushy at home, and we probably come in and spoil it a small bit then, like, you know, with little time to change things. So hopefully they can put in a good foundation, and they can tell us what to do when we get back and just fall into the pattern. But certainly I'd like to try get back up the ladder in club, because you know there's nothing like a good buzz of winning with your buddies, like, you know. And
would you be paying attention to the club championship in both codes after you've got knocked out, or do you squirrel away and do your own thing?
I would and I wouldn't. When you're not involved, it's like you don't count, like, you know what I mean. It's like I go to the final. I was at the county final this year, and I go to some games, you know, if they're juicy games, like, you know. But mainly sometimes, you know, football, you know, in the pub and talking at home, wherever you go, it's football. Sometimes you need to take a distant step back, but no, you take an interest, right? But when you're out of it, you wouldn't have the full attention, being honest with you.
Yeah. What about Clonmel against Nemo Rangers in the Munster Club final? How do you see that going?
It'll be an interesting one, to be honest with you. We like our own clash with Nemo. I think they have a very strong team, you know. Even I suppose their younger players have stepped up. They're a very balanced team. They've a good squad, like, to use from. And I think there'll be a bit of sourness from the last time, you know what I mean. I think they got robbed in the last minute, was an equivalent goal, so I'm sure that'll be in the back of their mind. You know, they are going well and whatnot, but I think they'll have their eye open as well, and I'm sure it'll be a juicy game, because Clonmel know they pipped in the last day, and that might bring a small bit of confidence. So yeah, I think it's going to be a good game of football, and, like, you know, I think whoever comes out of that will be a strong contender to push on.
They were in the All-Ireland final just in 2018, Nemo, that is. What can you say about the characters that you'd know from the inter-county panel, the likes of Paul Kerrigan, of Luke Connolly, for example?
Yeah, look, Kerrigan's a pure leader, like, you know what I mean. In fairness to him, like, he's been around the block now, and he always pops up, even though he is pushing on, he still pops up with, you know, I think he had the county final, the county final against Douglas, he had 2 goals, and I was at it, he probably could have had another one, if not 2. So he's showing his bit of class. Luke will always pop up and chip in with a few points, you know what I mean. Deadly free taker. They have a very good team, to be honest. They're balanced, but I think they have to stay focused, as I said, like, you know. Clonmel wouldn't have as big name, but they can be just as dangerous. And I think yeah, look, it'll be a tight one, I think, you know what I mean, to be honest with you.
Then, like, when you're coming up against Tipperary and Michael Quinlivan, that's what Nemo are going to come up against here. What do you do to try and stop someone like that? Because he's a very high level forward.
He's a good baller, a very good baller, in fairness. Like, he played at UCC too, I would have seen him, you know, down around Cork. He's just naturally talented, like, you know, on both feet. Obviously, you put your best defender on him, like, you know what I mean. Where Nemo have a lot of good defenders, it'll be interesting to see who will actually pick him up. But I think that will be a key factor, you know, whether, you know, Kerrig and Luke can stay, if Clonmel can keep them quiet, or if Nemo can keep Quinlan quiet, you know, that could be the change in the game.
You're a fan of tattoos. I'm only noticing them there. I didn't notice it before. How long are you at that?
I don't know. It was. I have them a while now. I got one when I was injured, just about kind of a young fella with a football down at home. So it just gives you a memory why you play, and I suppose when you're getting injured, it gives you a good reminder of where you want to be again. And yeah, look, it's something, I don't know.
So it sounds like it's a personal thing. You don't want to explain the whole thing.
Yeah, no, it's not too personal. It's just, you know, when you get injury, I thought it was all over, and I got something in my arm to make sure that I get back to where I was. And some people think I'm half-daft or whatnot, but it works for me, and I believe in it, and here we are. So
are you half-daft?
Yeah. No, I know it's just a young fella on a pier from where I am. Holding a ball is something I used to always do when I was a young fella, and there's a few dream cups of a cup, a pitch, and a house. So it's all good. It's all good. It's positive, anyway.
Fair play, and thanks for explaining it.
No matter. No, it's good. Yeah. No, look, it's you've challenging times when you're injured, and it's something to keep you focused on. And it reminds you of why you play the game and stuff. And yeah, it's just something I always look back on.
Cheers, Brian. Appreciate